Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 9.8. The chapter which we are related with is labor costing. And as you know, under management accounting and cost accounting, we are not going to make any financial statement, profit loss account or balance sheet. We are directly associated with manufacturing. Under manufacturing, there are three major factors: material, labor, and FH. This chapter is specifically associated with labor, and we are going to calculate worker wage rates, worker wages. There might be several methods to calculate worker wages, but usually we are associated with two basic rates. First is time rate method, under which what we do, we need to have how many hours a worker had worked and we will multiply it with per hour rate, and that's all. And second element which is associated with this chapter is piecework rate system. Instead of paying according to number of hours worked, we will be paying them according to pieces they have made. So we will choose how many pieces a worker had made and would be multiplied with per piece rate. Actually, these are two basic and main methods, and whenever we will be solving question, there might be a difference of perception, there might be a difference of design, there might be a difference of performa or format, but behind the scene, only these two methods would be used. Now let's see the volume of our question. Here you can see from here to here our question is, though it is associated with only one worker. What I am looking, there are not so many workers like we have seen some of the previous questions, plus there are not so many days, only single calculation apparently is associated with the question. So, and second help which the question is giving to us is Roman premium plan is also demonstrated as a heading. It means one formula, one question. Production sector of a factory working this and that, Roman plan, workers allow, okay, this dearness allowance was never been discussed before, and it is not associated with calculation as well. He had mentioned for 48 hours 500 rupees extra allowance. Dearness allowance is when your employer is paying you an amount regardless of your working. That means if you are working or not working, you will be getting 500 rupees. A worker, note it down, a worker, that means there is only one worker with which this question is related with. Basic wage rate is 200 per 8 hours. Okay, note it down. Workers' basic wage rate is 200 per day. And normally what we need is per hour wage rate. So as you know that per day of 8 hours, if amount would be paid as 200. Now let me know how would we calculate per hour rate. So again, amount is associated with hours. For 8 hours, you are receiving 200 rupees. If you will work for 8 hours, you will receive 200 rupees. Single hour we want to know. That is why we are doing it, because per hour rate, small t, is basic necessity of any question. Look at over here, hours are needed to be multiplied by per hour, that means 1 hour. So that is why we are calculating it amount which would be paid for single hour. Cross multiplication, simple procedure. 8 would be multiplied with x, and on the other hand 200 would be multiplied by 1. 200 is already present over here. 200 is already present over here, and you want to take this 8 to the opposite side. Here it is multiplied. When you will take it to the opposite side, it would be divided. Statement is completed. Now we can complete our calculation. 200 divided by 8 is 25, and what we have calculated, it is per hour rate. So it means we can write it as we have calculated small t, and that is 25. So first standard has been elaborated, and hopefully you do know that there are three factors which will always be related with any question. Second is standard time, and third is rate per hour. Okay, so it is rate per hour which we have calculated, that is 25. T was time taken, and it is still unknown. STR, there are three things which would be involved in any question: standard time, time taken, and rate per hour. This whole calculation which we have made over here were for 25 per hour rate. Rate means small r we have calculated. First standard has been established, and we will go back to the question and we'll see what else is provided to us. Okay, 200 per 8 hours. Okay, and job number 1 or 2, there are two jobs in which we have time allowed. That means this is standard time 25 and time taken is 20. So it means there are two jobs. So what we will do, we will apply job 1 over here, and secondly, this heading was very important, Rowan premium plan, though it has not been described within the question. Normally, okay, it is discussed under Rowan premium plan. So we are needed to calculate amount of wages for job number 1, then amount of wages for job number 2, and then idle time. So three calculations we will make, and then sum of these three headings would be our final answer. And now we will be looking forward for Robin plan, and I am hopeful that some of you would have in their mind the formula of Robin. As you know, it starts with bracket, and t is multiplied with small r. Then we need to add again two brackets, standard time minus time taken, bracket closed, divided by standard time again, bracket closed, and then you need to multiply, bracket open, small t multiply by r. Alright guys, this is your Rowan premium plan, and luckily everything is present in our question. Standard time for job number 1. Standard time for job number 1 is given. Look at here, it is job number 1 and standard time is 25. So let's put it down, 25. And time taken is also mentioned for job number 1. Time taken is 20 hours. So here you can put 20 hours. STR is completed. So we are open to put our values in Rowan premium plan. So please follow this formula. Okay. So it is starting with bracket, time taken was 20. You need to multiply it with small r, 25, bracket closed, sign plus two brackets, and then standard time was here 25. You need to subtract, please follow it. Time taken was 20, bracket closed, divided by standard time, that was 25, again bracket closed, and then you will be multiplying, bracket open. So last part of this row 1 is this, t multiplied by r, t was 20, multiplied by small r was 25, bracket close. So our statement is completed. Why I have written? So that you can have whole calculation in your mind. As we will put it on calculator, these calculation would be vanished. That is why we have written it. Start your bracket on calculator. Same what I was requesting, same matter you will be doing in your question as well. Little more space I'm making. Okay. So what I was saying, the method or input which will write upon here would similarly be written in your calculator as well. So you will put a bracket on calculator, 20 multiply by 25, close your bracket, sign add, open two brackets, 25 minus 20, close your bracket, divided by standard time 25, again close your bracket. So look at here, two opening brackets, two closing brackets. And why I am telling you, because if let's say only one bracket is missed, you would not be able to calculate in a right way. Okay, then multiply 20, again multiply 25. Please look at here. In this way we have calculated job number 1. Wage rate is 60. So whatever we have done over here was your input, and finally we have got the answer 600. It is for job number 1. And now similarly we will be applying job number 2, and for that again Roman plan is needed. Roman premium plan formula is automatically Excel is taking. The same formula what was written over here would be put over here, but we will be related with STR for job number 2. Standard time, time taken, and rate. So let's go back to the question. For second job we have standard time 30. Here you can put 30 as your standard time, and now let's see what was time taken. This is job 2, and again time taken is 20. Put 20 over here, and rate per hour is similar for both jobs, and rate per hour was 200 for 8 hours, and we have already calculated rate per hour, which was per hour rate 25. So in this way our rate per hour is equal to 25. Similarly we will write in the way which we have used in job number 1. Okay, now we will be putting amount, open your bracket, time taken again 20. It would be multiplied with 25 rate. Look, everything is written over here STR, and you will be following this formula and keep your focus upon here. Sign add, two brackets open, standard time was 30 in second part, and time taken is 20, bracket closed, divided by standard time 30, again bracket closed, then sign of multiplication, open bracket, time taken 20, and rate per hour is 25. Hopefully you have focused. Now we will put it on our calculator. Bracket, first we will see standard time was 30. I was just confirming it, 30 and 20. So we have also put 30 and 20. Alright. Now let's put it on calculator. Bracket start 20, time taken multiply by 25, rate per hour, and then you need to add, bracket open, two brackets, standard time was 30, you will subtract time taken 20, bracket closed, divided by standard time 30, again bracket closed, multiply, open your bracket, and time taken was 20, multiply by per hour rate 25. All right, so in this way you have put your calculation, and second job amount is 666. So here we will calculate our total wages, and total wages we will calculate in a way what we will do, we will see how much amount is given for job number 1 and then how much amount is given for job number 2 and amount of dearness allowance is also given. In this way we can get total of these three elements with which we will be able to calculate our total wages. So there were three answers. Look at it. This was your job number 1 and you have calculated 600 amount of wage. Put 600 over here. And in job number 2, this was your job number 2 and you have calculated 666.66. You can put same answer. This was your answer highlighted 666.66 and dearness allowance was fixed. Go back to the question and look at here. DNS allowance is 500 per week. And since this working is for whole week, this working is for whole week, so 500 bonus would also be given. Now there is another thing which was mentioned in the question. And look at here, idle time, waiting 8 hours. A common sense you can use that if there are 6 days and 8 hours are working hours for one day. Total hours in a week is 40. Total hours in a week would be 48 hours, and it has been mentioned over here as well. While actually worker had worked only for 40 hours. It means that 8 hours in which he had not worked, he does not deserve to be paid out. But this word is very important, idle time, waiting. That means he was present in the manufacturing concern, he was waiting for his job, but due to any reason, it may be possible raw material was not available, it may be possible that electricity was not present at that time, load shedding type or sort of thing. So he was there, he was ready to work, but due to any concerns he was unable to work. So it is not his fault, he would be paid for 8 hours where he had not worked, he was just waiting. So 8-hour working would also be paid out. So what we'll do, another factor for this particular worker is idle pay. For that, how much hour he had waited? 8 hours. And for 8 hours, 25 per hour is your wage rate. Understood? And when I will put it on calculator, it would be vanished. So in this way, this is your, okay, let me put it as it is. And we can take these amounts to lower portion so that you remember what we have done. What was it? 8 hours he had waited and 25 was per hour. Now we are open to calculate 8 multiplied by 25. Alright guys, we do have everything where it should be. Job number 1 total amount was 600. We have calculated in this way. For job number 2 666, job number 2 666, DNS allowance was given in the book 500 which was fixed. Idle pay were 8 hours the worker had waited for, and we are liable to pay per hour even for the hours he had not worked, he was waiting for the job. So 200 rupees extra idle payment would also be given. Now total wages would be calculated how? All of these amounts would be added in which we will be able to calculate our total wages. So first amount was 600 for job number 1, and then you will add 666 for job number 2, and then you will add 500 for DNS allowance, and number 4 you have 200 rupees for idle payment. So finally we have 1966. This would be considered as total wages, and that's what the requirement of the question was. Let's mark it as it has been done. Okay, now let's check out the answer given in the book 1966, and you can see over here check figures 1966. It means answer is matched. Now let's review the question what we have done in proper total page. So collectively you can see that from here you have started the question. The first element which you have calculated was per hour rate. 200 rupees were given for 8 hours and you have calculated per hour rate. It was very important because small r is normally used in every question. Then you have started your job number 1. Rowan plan was asked to be applied, and under Rowan plan we have put all inputs. These were STR and only 3 figures were used in the formula. You have applied and calculated the amount. So this was your job number 1 payment. Let's highlight it. And then you have started your job number 2 where you have calculated by application of Rowan premium plan as well. STR was taken from the book. So in this way you have calculated your wage for job number 2. After these calculation, there were two special elements involved in this question. DNS allowance means if an employer is giving extra amount according to his or her own wish, that is not associated with permanent wages. So it depends upon employer of different manufacturing concerns. In this job, 500 was paid an extra amount. It has no concern with the working hours. So this is fixed amount given to the worker. And then for 8 hours, this particular worker was waiting for the job. So payment he deserved and we had paid 25 per hour rate. In this way, there were 4 categories with which per week wages were dependent upon. Job number 1 he had completed. Job number 1 he had completed and we are paying him 600. Job number 2 he had completed, paying 666. DNS allowance fixed and idle payment 200. All these 4 factors when they are added, we have got total wages 1966, and finally we have matched the answer as well, 1966. In this way our question number 9.10 has been completed. I'm very hopeful that you have understood. This was a short and simple question. All right, and then now time for 9.10 has been ended. We surely be meeting for solution of any other question in future, but you are very open to ask any difficulty, any question, any query regarding this question, and I will surely be available to answer them instantly, inshallah. Okay, my dear students, 9.10 is completed. Hopefully we will see you again for any other solution. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I'm requesting you to please pray for me as well. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.